Hey girl.
OMG, can you believe what the loser wrote in my yearbook?
What?
He wrote K-I-T.
That's even worse than that ratchet girl who wrote hugs in my yearbook.
That's totes ridic. I wish our English teacher would teach everyone how to write meaningful things in yearbooks.
I've heard of teachers that do that. They must be the coolest.
Alright, so this is Yearbook Writing 101, your introduction to making meaningful inscriptions. So, a big part of this is just thinking it through for now and later. Remember, people are going to keep this yearbook, you're probably going to keep yours. There's a decent chance that what you write in these last few weeks will last longer than anything you've ever written before. You'll probably keep what other people write, they'll keep what you write, their families will read it, your families will read it, so it deserves a little bit of thought. So work on your own right now, and then you guys can pull your ideas later. So, with anything, we always want to think about purpose and audience. So list some audiences. Obviously, you're writing for the person whose yearbook it is, but who else is going to read it? Not just this week, but this month, this summer, in the coming years, 10 or 20 years down the road, who is it that might be reading what you're writing? So yeah, those are the other audiences. And then think about your purposes. You have a purpose to accomplish for different people. List as many as you can think of. Remember, this is for now and later. Think about your purposes for having others write in your book. Again, they might be the same, they might not. But remember, it's not just about right now, it's not just this moment. It's also down the road, years, even decades. So here's a little quote from The Importance of Being Earnest, which most of you have read. Miss Prism, the kind of ditzy tutor, says, "Memory, dear Cecily, is the diary we all carry about with us." She's wrong about this, though, just like she is about almost everything. If we all had perfect memories, we wouldn't need yearbooks. So one of your purposes is to prevent your memories from dying by writing them down in a yearbook. Some people remember only what's just happened. Avoid that trap. That last baseball game, last Friday's party. Although those are still fresh in your mind, those probably aren't the ultimate highlights of your 4 years at Bradshaw. Think for a few minutes about what experiences you really want to remember down the road. Since you want your words to be personal, the experiences you choose will be different for different people. So think about those whose books you'll most likely sign, and then make a list of the high points of your years here that you have in common with others. Think about the school as a whole. List some of your favorites among the memories that nearly everyone here has. What are the BCS inside jokes that someone from another school wouldn't understand, but that everyone here would? These will be good to include for those people that maybe you don't have as much of a personal history with. What about just the senior class? I know you guys are about to make some new memories in the coming weeks, but think about things that are universal to all seniors. There's also your specific school groups, sports teams, clubs, performing groups, and then also your special friends, the ones that you hang out with all the time, the ones that have been there through almost every moment. This is where you really want to use specific, concrete detail. List some things that you did together rather than just general feelings about life. Things like, oh, high school was so much fun, aren't meaningful. So, foreseeing some of the problems, you can anticipate most of the difficulties that yearbooks bring up and avoid many of them with just a little bit of planning. And so here's some suggestions based on the experiences of previous seniors, and there's room for you to add your own. This is when you aren't sure what to write. So, writing in books of people you don't know, or maybe even wish you didn't, it will happen. You'll get around to the problem. You can get around to the problem with an appropriate quotation. So, having a couple quotes on hand that are meaningful. We go to a Christian school, so Bible verses are great. But they can really make that person feel like you really thought about, well, you did really think about it, but it'll feel really meaningful to them even though you don't know them very well. There's always the problem of space, usually two different problems. Trying to keep casual acquaintances from filling a 2-page spread with prose you will never care to read again, and reserving space for those you really want to give it to. A lot of people mark off space with reserved for, but that doesn't always work. The corollary here is finding an entire page reserved for you when you have little to write. So brainstorm some ideas here. And then also the problem of time. Many seniors have been frustrated watching their yearbooks waiting in line to be signed. They suggest making a date to exchange signings with good friends you don't want to miss rather than trying to do it in school. If some people have signing parties or other senior events, those are good opportunities. And then also, try not to give your yearbook to someone who's already holding more than one. Usually things get rushed, and by the time they get to yours, they just don't really have the time to spend on it. Think about what's important and appropriate. Here's some things that other graduates say that they dislike. Making suggestions about how they could be better people. They don't like inscriptions that contain obscenities or refer to embarrassing incidents that seemed cool to the immature. They don't like inscriptions that have unkind remarks about others or spill over onto photographs or draw undue attention with gaudy or metallic inks. They don't like inscriptions that refer to contemporary unimportant events or are full of vague and general praise. Most of all, they complain about the generic signings that could have been put in anyone's yearbook in any high school in the entire country. Like, it was great getting to know ya in math. Have a cool summer. KIT. Love ya. One suggestion they give is that the answer to, do your parents read this? He always said, I don't know what happened to that sentence. Anyway, think about the question, do your parents read this? And a lot of students will answer, yes, aloud to my family, and by phone to yours. Don't assume that all of this will stay private. So that's pretty much it for the yearbooks. This is a place for you to brainstorm, and then you have the online form that I have emailed you, and I want you guys to complete that by 10 p.m. tonight. All right, keep working on those poems, and I'll see you tomorrow.